watching EBN TV, transforming your world. Every Thursday from 8:30 p.m.
Listen, every man needs God. And every man needs to learn to humble himself before God.
Enjoy teachings from Pastor Chris Oyakilome.
Here's what the Lord is instructing you to do. Prepare yourself in the Word of God. Feed your faith. Prepare yourself in the Word.
Build your faith and get to know who you are in Christ Jesus.
Feed your faith. There's a spiritual attack of some kind through sickness. Build your faith strong.
Every Thursday from 8:30 p.m. on EBN TV, transforming your world. You are watching EBN TV, transforming your world.
This is EBN TV, transforming your world.
Welcome to EBN TV News Edition. My name is Consolata Chibalonza. Thank you very much for keeping me company tonight. And we get it straight on. Now, we start on a very sad note where police officers in the area of Kiambu County have arrested a suspect who is linked to the murder of an 80-year-old child by stabbing and a house worker. The suspect was arrested while he was trying to escape from hiding and was in a hole when the police arrested him. Confirming the incident, the police commander of Kiambu, Pius Mwadhi, said that the suspect tried to kill the mother of the victim despite her efforts to escape the death.
Yes, so we rushed, we dispatched our officers to the scene, and preliminary investigation at the scene, we found that one Grace Wanchikumua, who is a resident in Denderu, came from a place of work, and upon opening the house, she found a man who tried to drag her inside the house, but she managed to escape. She screamed. That alerted the neighbors, who also rushed to her rescue. When we are left at the scene, we found that one juvenile male and one juvenile aged roughly around 8 years was lying. The body was lying in a pool of blood, lifeless in a pool of blood. with a deep cut on the neck. We also rescued one female adult aged 19 years who was taken to one of the private hospitals within the Lero and thereafter rushed to KU Referral Hospital where she is admitted in serious.
And now we move on to the political arena, where the opposition has asked the Kenya Kwanza government to stop meddling in the affairs and independence of the judiciary. Speaking after the Azimio'S and Kenya coalition meeting today, NARC Kenya boss Martha Karua told off the executive from interfering with the mandate of the judiciary. The meeting was also attended by Azimio leader Raila Amolo Odinga and DAP Kenya boss Eugene Wamalwa, amongst other leaders.
There's been a lot of speculation in the media. Azimio is splitting, Azimio is convening meetings which have not been held, and so on and so forth. That is all trash, media propaganda.
The housing levy is a threat to livelihoods and incomes in the same way the plan to unilaterally sell public assets without the participation of the owners, who are the people of Kenya. We will stand in solidarity with the petitioners in the public interest litigation cases on these issues. Azimio stands for the rule of law and supports the need for an independent and professional judiciary. Subsequently, we demand that the Kenya Kwanza regime must keep its hands off the judiciary. We take note of the support expressed by the United States government for the Ruto regime to appeal against the ruling on the deployment of police to Haiti. It is our hope that all parties shall respect the independence of the judiciary and that foreign interests will keep off our national affairs.
Azimio remains satisfied with its activities that were able to focus on the excesses of the Kenya Kwanza regime that has made life miserable for the greater majority of Kenyans. Because of Azimio's focus and steadfastness, the cost of living as a government-induced pain is understood to be a direct result of Ruto's policies and not only global environment or previous regime. So this is purely Ruto's failed policies, and it should not be blamed on any global environment or Uhuru Kenyatta's regime almost 2 years later. The coalition is satisfied with the work of standing up for Kenyans and commits to continue holding the regime to account and to put blame where it belongs on areas like the ever-rising taxes, the deteriorating relationship with our neighbors, the rampant corruption in government, the tribalism in public service, the deterioration of the Kenya shilling, and general deterioration of our economy.
Now, still on the government, the public hearings on the Affordable Housing Bill will conclude today with meetings in Nairobi and Mombasa counties. National Assembly's Joint Committee on Finance and National Planning and that of Housing and Urban Planning has been receiving views from Kenyans and other stakeholders since the 17th of January in 19 selected counties. The bill, sponsored by Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah, seeks to provide a legal framework for the establishment of Affordable Housing Fund and give effect to the right to accessible and adequate housing as provided for in the Constitution. During Monday's meeting at the County Hall in Nairobi, concerns were raised regarding public land compensation.
Jukumu ya serikali kuhakikisha kwamba raia wamekuwa sensitized kwa hii mambo ya masheria, so that wakati tunaenda kuongelesha hawa wanaongelea kitu yenye wanaelewa. Otherwise, kwa wale ambao wameelewa, wameipokea, wamesema ya kwamba wametoa maoni yao, na maoni yao tutaienda kuangalia, alafu tuone jinsi tutahakikisha kwamba ime appear in the law.
One bedroom unainunua na 840,000 ambao bado iko ghali sana. 840,000 hiyo pesa iko juu kununua nyumba ya 1 bedroom. Wakiendelea kama wangeweza punguza ingekuwa afadhali.
Ni mtu ambaye anaishi kwake nyumbani, then mtu kama huyu sioni itakuwa ni haki kwa yeye kukata ushuru. Ndio katiba inasema kila mtu awe katika mazingira mazuri, aishi mahali pazuri. Lakini already kama anaweza afford kuishi maisha mazuri, ni ya nini serikali ingilie kati iweze kunikata ushuru mahali ambapo mimi sina haja na hiyo nyumba?
Now, Kenya is at a risk of missing its economic growth targets in the medium term as the country faces severe debt distress and a deteriorating macroeconomic operating environment. According to the Public Finance Institution, in its latest financial analysis report, the country finds itself in a difficult time following years of continuous borrowing, as well as the inability of the private sector to create enough jobs for the millions of incoming youth on the labor market every year. The IPF further states that Kenya is facing a health funding crisis as major donors withdraw funding for malaria, HIV and AIDS, and vaccines.
Kenya is not reaping fully the benefits that, or the returns that we should be reaping out of the high borrowing that we have had over the last 1 decade. And what that means is that the economy is at a high risk of running into debt distress. We know over the last 1 decade, our growth has been debt driven. But now our growth is stagnating at 5%.
Many Kenyans are one medical bill away from poverty. And that's a fact that is reflected even within our figures and within our analysis. We are having the population is mainly youth-centric. We are having the donor financing transition, and we're also having the disease transition, where we are having a greater and greater burden of non-communicable diseases.
Kenya is at high risk of debt distress, and if we have an adverse shock, we will definitely default.
The Kenyan government, are we able to have a budget that is able to bear the weight that will come with the costs that were previously financed?
Now, the Public Service Cabinet Secretary Moses Kuria has issued a warning to public universities that are facing a heavy financial burden. Kuria pointed out that the central government will not tolerate public institutions of higher learning that are unable to afford the funds given to them by the national government. This comes after a realization that many public universities are being oppressed by lack of funds and excessive debts. Kuria spoke about this while addressing 1,000 new board members of 107 government agencies.
And you know, my brother, Professor Machogu, is really, you know, we really need to give it to that man, because he has really faced the bull by the horns. He is slaying the dragon in terms of mismanagement of our public universities, in terms of transforming the way we finance our public universities. And so therefore, I'm also asking public universities, which are also state corporations. The government is doing its part, the president is doing his part, the minister is doing his part. Now it's up to you. There is no excuse. There is no excuse for not having prudent financial management. Through the new financing scheme for our universities, we are sure that our universities can be afloat. We are sure that our universities can break even. So they have want to call all the members from the councils, from our universities, and all of us really, to really put special emphasis on this issue of financial prudence.
Kiambu Governor Kimani Wamatangi has signed 2 significant legislations passed by the County Assembly, namely the Kiambu County Appropriation Act 2024 Supplementary Budget and the Kiambu County Revenue Allocation Act 2024, which is a ward fund. The Kiambu County Supplementary Action Act in 2024 provides for the additional withdrawal of funds from the exchequer and reallocations, therefore, as per priority programs, and authorizes the executive to spend up to 2.5 billion on projects. On the other hand, the County Revenue Allocation Act of 2024 will allocate an initial amount of 600 million Kenyan shillings to the ward fund, exclusively designed to assist in cascading development at the grassroots level.
Sheria yetu mpya ambaye inamwezesha member wa county assembly kule mashinani pia baada ya kuongea na wananchi kujua ya kwamba hii project ambayo ni project ndogo, ile ingine ambazo ziko na haja sana na mwananchi, basi ule kiongozi aliyechaguliwa pia na hao wananchi anaweza kuwa na usemi.
It's going to help us devolve development to our very grassroots, because with a minimum of 10 million of the development from the development kitty, it means that an MCA shall be able to sit with his constituents and the ward administrator and agree on the priorities.
Exclusive for bursaries and other major projects. Therefore, this is going to be community-based projects. The members of the community will gather, identify their projects, and come up with their own projects. So they are going to own the project just like it happens with the CDF.
Kwa sababu tuko na budget ya bilioni 21. Milioni 10 kwa wadi moja ni milioni 600. Kwa hivyo hizo pesa mingi sana zinabaki na gavana.
And now we move from the economical part of the business part, and let's go to more social news. Vendors in Quarry Market, Ongata Rongai, Kajiado North, have complained about the dirt on the side of the road from Rongai to Kiserian and at the entrance of the market, saying that it is a problem they have had for a long time. The vendors now fear that they are at a risk of contracting diseases such as cholera, while announcing to boycott paying taxes until the Kajiado County government removes the dirt. They have also noted that they have had meetings with county government officials but have failed to provide a permanent solution.
Siko hapa watu hawezi kukulia hapo. Customer wamekataa kuingia hapa na hiyo ndio shinda tuliko nayo.
Tumekuwa tukijadiliana na hawa watu wa county government na wanasema wataiondoa kila siku na hawaondoagi. Tumekutana hapa tukaona imekuwa too much. Tukaenda kwa ofisi yao na tulipofika pale kwa ofisi yao tukakaa tukaongea nao tukaona hawana solution ambayo ni permanent. Hasa kutoka hapa tulikubaliana sisi kwamba tukasema tutasimamisha malipo mpaka siku ile watabeba hii takataka na wakuwe na permanent solution. Sisi tutaendelea kulipa kwa sababu tumekuwa tukiwalipa 100%.
Sasa hii takataka yote ambayo imeletwa hapa imeletwa na imesababisha wafanyikazi hapa hawana amani. Hata wakati ambapo wanauza chakula chao shida zinawapata. So baada ya kuwa na kikao na wanasoko tukasikizana ya kwamba hakuna haja ya kuendelea kulipa mpaka wakati ambapo tutapata suluhu ya kudumu, hasa wakati ambapo tunapata vitu ambazo za kuweka takataka, kwa sababu takataka ikishaondolewa hata siku hii ya leo, kesho kama hakutakuwa na suluhu ambayo ni ya kudumu, bado kutakuwa na shida kama hizi tena.
Hawa watu wa county government tumekuwa nao kila siku wakitudanganya wanaokota takataka. Na hiyo takataka ikiwa hapo, wanaokota pesa, hiyo takataka iko hapo, watu hawezi fanya kazi.
Now we move from Kajiado to Nakuru, and fishermen from Lake Nakuru as well as fish sellers have protested against the ban on the use of fish caught from the lake. The complaints come 6 days after the Minister of Minerals, Blue Economy and Marine Affairs, Salim Vuria, warned that the fish caught from Lake Nakuru is not suitable for human consumption. Vuria noted that recent tests carried out on fish caught from the lake showed high levels of arsenic, a chemical found in many minerals. According to the World Health Organization, long-term use of the chemical arsenic through drinking water and food can lead to the development of cancer and skin lesions. In addition, the fishermen from the area are in conflict with the minister because they claim to have sent the fish to the government laboratory 4 years ago and they have been using the fish without suffering any harm. Now they want the government to allow them to continue with their fishing and fish trading activities, as they fear that the banning of the business will lead many young people to engage in crime activities and venture into the use and abuse of drugs.
Hatukujua ya kwamba ni nzuri na hatukuipeleka mahali popote, tuliitumia directly, na hiyo ni miaka 4 iliyopita sasa na tumeishi kuitumia. What we did, tulichukua hizo samaki tukaipeleka kwa maabara sisi wenyewe at our own cost na at a different time, na ni samaki tuliambiwa ni nzuri. It is good for human consumption. Jamii ambayo mahali ambapo inaambiwa ni ya Lake Nakuru ni sisi. Kuna structures za serikali na kuna njia ambaye ni nzuri ya kufanya hiyo advocacy ama kudisseminate ile habari. Mbona wasikuje hapa kwetu watu waongee na sisi watuambie hii kitu tumefanya hivi badala ya kusikia kama porojo, na wakuwe na tangible evidence kama ile tumeshika hapa.
La kwanza lenye nataka nauliza serikali ni kwa mara ya pili tukiambiwa samaki iko na maradhi, iko na sumu, iko na magonjwa ya kansa, iko na magonjwa ya kisukari. Watu wengi tangia tuzaliwe wamesafa hiyo magonjwa, na samaki imekuwa tu ya miaka 3. Hao watu wenye wamekufa kansa na sukari ni hii samaki? Tunataka jibu. Na wamedhibitisha ni wangapi wamekufa wakawa mochari, ni wangapi wamekuwa admitted, ni wangapi tu ni wagonjwa hata kwa hizi maboma zetu hapa. Jinsi tulivyo hivi, nafikiri mnatuona tuko na afya. Kwanza mimi nilikula samaki ya kwanza kwa hii shamba hapa, na hata leo sioni kama hii mwili yangu iko na mashimo ndani ya vitu wanasema. I'm very healthy.
Nashangaa sababu tulianza hii kazi 2020 wakati tulihamishwa na maji hapa kwa maboma zetu. And then sisi kama wakaaji wa Mwariki hatukufanya kazi ambayo hatujui. Tulichukua samaki, tukapeleka, zikapimwa na zikaonekana ni mzuri. So nashindwa kwani zilipelekwa laboratory gani? Tulipeleka katika laboratory ya serikali. Kwa hivyo sisi tumeazikula kwa hiyo miaka yote, na hata kama zinaweza kuwa na hizo viini wanasema hakuna mtu hajakula hiyo samaki Kenya. So ni siasa.
Kuja kwa hii kijiji atuambie vizuri magonjwa hiyo samaki na atupime sisi wenyewe. Sasa waache kupima samaki, akuja tupime. Tunataka kujua kama tunangonyeka. Juu sisi tujalazwa na tujakufa. Naomba serikali tusaidie juu huku wakianza kutukanyaga hivi sisi tutakufa njaa, vijana wataiba, kutakuwa na hali mbaya kwa hii kijiji. Hata mahali penye gavana yuko Kihika akuje Mwariki aone shida yenye iko hapa.
We don't understand is how the fish in Nakuru that we have been consuming for the last 5 years has suddenly become poisonous. We have seen even a lot of pelicans here who eat fish every day, and we have not seen them dying in thousands. So what we know is that there is propaganda.
And still on protests around the country, division has been witnessed in businessmen in Kisumu as they are divided into 2 groups. The first group is boycotting participation in the protest to oust the city manager Abala Wanga for accusations of misuse of authority from the leadership. That will happen tomorrow, Wednesday, the 31st, while the other wing is planning to cover up the protest. Speaking to journalists, the section includes Jubilee Market Traders, Freedom Market Traders, and Kibuye Market Traders as their chairperson stating that they do not want to participate in the protest planned for Wednesday.
Ingine nimesikia mambo ya demo ya Wednesday. We as Jubilee Market, we are not part of it. Hatuna mtu yeyote ambaye amekuja kwetu eti tunataka nyinyi muende kwa nini kwa demonstration ama barua ingi yoyote ambayo imeletwa kwetu, hakuna. So kama iko maybe ni wale wengine na sio wafanyabiashara katika Jubilee Market. Hatujakuwa na chair ambaye ameshika town yote kwa wafanyabiashara. Wafanyabiashara kila soko wako na chair yao. Chair ya Jubilee Market ni iko hapa Martinol Watch. Chair ya Jubilee tunayo, chair ya Kibuye Market soko kubwa tuko nayo hapa Nyaramba. So maybe kama ashapata barua ama alienda kwa hiyo mkutano ya demo ya Wednesday, anaweza tueleza. Tuko na chair ya Uhuru Market pia tuko nayo hapa. So maybe kama hao soko zingine walienda kwa mkutano, tueleze siku ya leo.
Kwa majina naitwa Kennedy Sande na niko hapa ili niongee kwa niaba ya wana soko wote hapa hivi vile tuko hapa. Jambo ambayo inatukera sana ni jambo ya demonstration ambayo inakuwa siku ya Jumatano. hatuko hapa katika hilo jambo. Sisi tunampa backups kubwa sana bwana city manager pamoja na Profesa Anyang' Nyong'o wetu ambaye anatupigania wakati yote. Wale wanyonge wote ambao wako hapa katika soko zetu hizi ndogo ndogo, sasa wako na nafuu. Makateli wanataka kutukanyaga hadi siku gani? Hatutakubali hiyo mambo ya makateli. Hatutakubali. Na tunashutumu hilo jambo katika jina la Mwenyezi Mungu kwamba hawana nafasi hata kidogo. Hawana nafasi hata kidogo. Washindwe! Tunawakemea katika jina la Yesu wapate kushindwa. Washindwe! Sisi tuko hapa na msimamo mmoja kwamba city manager akae kidete wala sirudi nyuma. Bwana Profesa akae kidete wala sirudi.
Now, the national government has intervened to resolve the land dispute in the Transmara area by evicting the land grabbers who have been troubling and threatening the lives of the real owners of the land. The land is owned by 3 tea companies from Kisii County, and they have been arguing that the land grabbers since 2012, while the companies failed to get benefits from the land due to receiving threats from the grabbers who claim to be the rightful owners.
To address the Transmara land issue. Second, to set the record straight. And third, to thank the national government and especially the Minister of Lands and the Minister of Interior and the coordination of national government for the immense support towards resolution of our land dispute. The land in question is the property of the 3 respective companies, as said above, acquired through legal and lawful purchase dating back to the year 2012. Since then, we, the owners, have never enjoyed peaceful, quiet possession as entitled by law because of hostility from the wearing and protesting encroachers who have always chased and threatened our lives whenever we wanted to gain access to our property.
Encroachers are claiming this property, but they offer no proof that this property belongs to them except sitting on our property and chasing our rightful right to occupation and use wherever we desire. We have been subjected to this a number of times before, but again, we thank the national government. This is a country that's governed by law, and we are all subjects of the rule of law. We invite anybody aggrieved, anybody laying a claim to this property to follow the law and face us wherever the law dictates we should. We won't be picketing and calling names out there because we are men and women of honor. We look forward to enjoyment of our full property rights.
2 police officers at a police base within Bungoma County have been arrested for alleged bribery. The officers are accused of demanding a bribe to facilitate the release of a motorcycle they had impounded at the base on claims that it was stolen property. Confirming the arrest, Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission spokesperson Eric Ngumbi said the suspects will be charged under the Bribery Act on Wednesday and they will be arraigned at Bungoma Anti-Corruption Court. The suspects are currently detained at EACC Bungoma Regional Office for processing and will later be transferred to Bungoma Police Station awaiting arraignment. The arrest comes after the Director of Public Prosecutions concurred with the recommendations of the Commission to charge the suspects. EACC said another officer in the alleged crime is at large and directed him to present himself to the EACC Bungoma Regional Office for processing. The President, William Samoei Ruto, has defended his attendance at the week's Italy-Africa summit months after he heavily criticized the habit of summoning African leaders to foreign capitals. In a statement issued after the meeting in Rome, the leader walked back some of the criticism, saying instead he supported the pragmatic arrangement of selecting a group of leaders to represent the continent.
2050, a quarter of the world's population will be living in the African continent by the year 2050. And therefore, any business person, including Kemal, if you're looking as a business person, you must think about the market.
Yes.
The market will be in Africa shortly. We are having a new conversation about our continent.
Yes.
We are very proud of what the continent can achieve and what the continent has to share with the rest of the globe. We are very confident that the resources we have in our continent, if they were complemented by the technologies that we have in this part of the world and the financing that we can all put it together, we can forge a win-win outcome for Europe and Africa and for Africa and the globe. In fact, I can tell you today 4 aspects of Africa, what Africa is. Number 1, Africa has the largest renewable energy assets in the world. Number 2, Africa has 2/3 of the world's arable land for agricultural production. Number 3, Africa has the youngest population, 70% below the age of 30. And number 4, Africa has the world's critical minerals that are necessary for energy transition. So if you are looking at the future and you're not looking in the direction of Africa, then I want to tell you, you are looking in the wrong place.
Yes.
The future is in Africa. There is an African proverb that says, until the lion learned to write a story, all stories glorified the hunter.
Yes.
There was a time Africa was profiled as the continent of conflict, disease, poverty, and war. I want to tell you that we have a new definition of Africa. It is the continent of opportunity, great potential, and a great future.
Yes.
Indeed, it is the world of sports. We do not play, but we make the sports happen. The National Soccer Champions 2022, Ebwali are the soccer champions in the first part of this year between high schools of Yala Open, held at St. Mary's, Yala. Ebwali won the title after defeating their hosts with 1-0, the only goal being scored by player Austin Odor in the second half. Ebwali beat St. Anthony Kitale in the semi-final with a score of 1-0, and they defeated the experienced team 2-1. In rugby, 15 players on each side, Yala drew with St. Anthony 3-3. In rugby, 7 players on each side, Kakamega beat Sawagongo 17-0. The organizer of the Yala Open tournament has pointed out that the purpose of the tournament is to test the standards of the game before the start of the official competition between the high schools.
People attracted around 36 teams. There were so many that have 9 groups, and the competition is stiff. It's going to be stiff going forward. From what we have showcased here, we are one of the teams that will watch across the country in both rugby and football. And even handball, we are runners up. So going forward, I think we will make it better. If it was time challenges, but we hope that next time we may even have 3 days from Friday to Sunday, because it is becoming very, very big and very large and very competitive. everybody wanted to come to this tournament. I hope as a school we are going to do it to others. Maseno school here, we are going to present all our teams, and any other one. Then we wait for competitions for this time.
Thank you very much for joining me from the very start to now. It indeed has been an awesome time spending with you. It is the end of EBN Prime Edition. My name is Consolata Chibalonza. I do wish you nothing but a beautiful night. May the Lord bless you until we meet again. Do not forget to join us tomorrow for Know Your Law, where we will be tackling the rights of women and why in the first place do they need their separate rights. Join me tomorrow with a lawyer, Neema, who will be here on studio. A session you do not want to miss. If you missed the news, you can get us across all our social media platforms on EBN TV. Until next time, God bless.